In our last video tutorial, we discussed how to calculate the compound interest and the total amount on a given amount when the interest is compounded annually, and then we discussed when the interest rate is compounded half yearly. In this video tutorial, we are going to discuss how to calculate the compound interest and the total amount when the interest rate is compounded quarterly. Now, if you haven't watched the discussion on annually and half yearly, I'll suggest you please watch that tutorial first so that you can understand properly the discussion on interest rate compounded quarterly. Okay, now let's begin our discussion and we'll take the same example where the amount is equal to rupees 20,000. This is the amount or the loan that you take from your bank at an interest rate of 8% per year. And the change that we'll make in this example is will not take period is equal to 2 years, will take period is equal to 1 year. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time for to calculate, and we just have to understand the concept of interest rate compounded quarterly. So we don't need this 2 years. We don't have to use it. So let's say that today you took this loan of rupees 20,000. In the case of quarterly, you'll calculate the interest for the first 3 months. For this period, you'll calculate interest. Then for another 3 months, you'll calculate another interest. For another 3 months, you'll calculate another interest. And for another 3 months, you'll calculate another interest. So from here up until here, this is 1 year. You have total 4 periods and you are calculating 4 interests, 4 different interest 4 times. Okay, now let's take this example and begin our discussion or calculation. So Control C, here Control B. Okay, now as we discussed in the case of annually and semi-annually, that when we calculate the interest, that is nothing else but simple interest. We actually calculate the simple interest. And the formula for simple interest is actually P times R times T divided by 100. Okay. Now tell me that if 12 months is equal to 1 year, then 1 month is equal to 1 by 12 year. Therefore, 3 months is equal to 1 by 12 multiplied by 3 year, that is 1 by 4 year. So 3 months means that it is actually 1 by 4 year, right? So if you put this T here, just keep this P as it is and R as it is, then T as, since T is equal to 3 months in the case of quarterly, it means that 1 by 4 year. This is 1 by 4 and divided by 100. Now if you look at this one, you can clearly see that this is actually equal to R by 4. That is, in the case of interest rate being compounded quarterly, your interest is becoming 1/4. In the case of semi-annually, if you remember, we discussed that it was actually 1 by 2. It was getting halved. But in the case of quarterly, it's becoming 1/4. So in this case, if you'll put R as 8%, that is 8, then your R by 4 will be equal to 2. So remember, now whatever calculation we'll do, we'll simply put R by 4 as 2. That is, this value will be actually equal to r multiplied by 1 by 4, that is r by 4 is equal to 2, right? So you have to remember this one. It's same as we discussed in our earlier cases, two cases. So for first 3 months, your P1, that is principal, will be this rupees 20,000. Your rate is actually equal to 8%. Your time period will be equal to 1 by 4 year. Okay, now tell me, the interest that we calculate is actually what? Simple interest, and that will be equal to rupees 20,000 multiplied by, now remember, r times 1 by 4 is what? R by 4, that is 8 by 2, that is, sorry, 8 by 4, that is 2. So this is 2 divided by 100. So if you solve it, you'll get rupees 400. So rupees 400. Now this is the interest for the first 3 months, for the period of first 3 months. So tell me, what will be the loan amount? What will be the loan amount at the end of first 3 months? That will be equal to P1 plus SI1. That is equal to P1 plus SI1 is actually equal to rupees 20,400. Right? Now this loan amount at the end of first 3 months will become the principal amount for the next 3 months. So second period of 3 months. In this case, your P2 will be equal to rupees 20,400. Your rate is same, that is 8%. Your T is equal to 1 by 4 year. Right? Now, again, the interest that you will calculate is nothing else but simple interest. So let's name, this one was SI1, this is SI2. So here this is 20,400 multiplied by R multiplied by T means that again 2 divided by 100. This gives you rupees 408. So the interest for the second period of 3 months is equal to rupees 408. So tell me, what is the loan amount? What is the loan amount at the end of second 3 months, for the second period of 3 months? That is equal to P2 plus SI2. P2 plus SI2. Now, what is P2? P2 is actually equal to P1 plus S1. So actually this loan amount is nothing else but P1, that is the initial one, the first interest that you calculate for the period of first 3 months, plus SI2, P1 plus SI1 plus SI2, right? This is the loan amount that you owe to the bank at the end of the second period of 3 months. So if you add them together, you'll get rupees 20,808. Okay, now this 20,808, that is a loan amount at the end of second period of 3 months, will become the principal amount for the third period of 3 months. So this becomes P3 . Your rate is equal to 8%, and T will remain again 1 by 4 year. Now simple interest 3, 20,808 multiplied by R, that is 8 multiplied by 1 by 4, that will give you 2. That is, rate becomes 1/4 in the case of your interest rate compounded quarterly. If you calculate this one, you will get rupees 416.16. Okay, so this is the loan amount, this is the interest that you get for the third period of 3 months. So this is loan amount at the end of third period of 3 months, right? This is equal to what? P3 plus SI3. What's P3? P3 is P2 plus SI2. What's P2? P2 is P1 plus SI1. It means that this P3 plus SI3 is nothing else but P1 plus SI1 plus SI2 plus SI3, right? So if you add this, you'll get rupees 21,224.16. Okay. Now this loan amount at the end of third period of 3 months becomes the principal amount for the last period of 3 months. Fourth period of 3 months. Your principal becomes P4, that is rupees 21,224.16. that is, rate is equal to 8% and time period is equal to 1/4 year. Now the interest that you will calculate is actually simple interest, SI4. This is equal to 21,224.16 multiplied by R multiplied by 8 multiplied by 1 by 4 means 2 divided by 100. Okay, so if you solve it, you'll get rupees 424.4832. So this is the interest for the last period of 3 months. So tell me, what's the loan amount? What's the loan amount at the end of the fourth period of 3 months? That is equal to P4 plus SI4. What's P4? P4 is P3 plus SI3. What's P3? P3 is P2 plus SI2. What's P2? P2 is P1 plus SI1. It means that this is actually P1 plus the initial amount, P1 plus SI1 plus SI2 plus SI3 plus SI4. So if you solve it, you'll get rupees 21648.6432. This is the amount, loan amount at the end of fourth period of 3 months. Therefore, this is the total amount that you owe to the bank at the end of first 1 year. You took the loan for 1 year, and since the rate is being compounded annually, that is, you are calculating interest rate for 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, for 3 consecutive months, right? So this is the final loan amount that you have to pay back to the bank. This is nothing else but this initial amount that you took from the bank plus interest for the first 3 months, plus interest for the next 3 months, plus interest for the another 3 months, plus interest for the another 3 months. So P1 plus SI1 plus SI2 plus SI3 plus SI4 is the loan amount that you have to pay back to the bank at the end of 1 year. Okay, now tell me, what is the compound interest? Now, compound interest, if you have to calculate compound interest, then as we discussed earlier, there are 2 ways. One way is SI1 plus SI2 plus Si3 plus Si4. That is, add all the interests that you have calculated for each period of 3 months, right? First period, second period, third period, and fourth period. This is one way. Another way is the formula, that is, let's say that this is the amount A that you have to pay back to the bank, the final amount. So A, since this amount includes the principal which we started with, that is 20,000, and it also includes all the interests. So A minus P, the final amount minus the initial amount where we started with, will give you the compound interest. Okay, you'll get the same answer from these two methods. Okay, it's up to you which the one you want to use. Okay, I'll leave this calculation for you. So it was all about calculating the compound interest and the total amount when the interest is compounded annually, is compounded half yearly or semi-annually, and is compounded quarterly. Okay, so in the next couple of video tutorials, now we'll discuss the formula. Okay, here we have seen the steps that we take to calculate, but there is formula to calculate the interest compounded annually, interest rate compounded semi-annually, and the interest rate compounded quarterly. In the next video tutorials, we'll discuss that.